The people from the media who have assembled here in connection with the World Heart Day, which is tomorrow, September 29th. I want to make few opening remarks, and then we'll have a press conference. I'll be joined by a couple of my colleagues. Regarding the press, I always have tremendous respect for the press. In a democracy, press always has been considered as the fourth pillar of democracy. There is a lot of information that is available now through a variety of electronic channels, and with Facebook, and with Twitter, and with Google. So there's an information overload. Initially, I thought this kind of an electronic proliferation of information might decrease the role for the press. But actually, I have come to realization that this expansion of information through so-called parallel track has made the press much more important, because the press has a tremendous responsibility to distill the information, to analyze the information, and to transmit the information to the readers of the newspapers and to the viewers of the television. So I always pay a tremendous tribute to people in the press who have this responsibility to convey the information to the public so that they can gain sufficient knowledge. All of you people from the press, you are very well informed. I was a great follower of Mr. Kasturi, the former editor for Hindu for many, many years. And at age 89, he passed away last week, and I used to read his columns repeatedly. Now I read also Mr. Ram's columns. So I admired the press for what they do, but I also read what is printed in the press. So again, a warm welcome, and please accept my compliments and congratulations for the tremendous job that all of you are doing. Now, the reason why we are assembled here is not to celebrate. I want to make it very clear. We're not celebrating anything. In fact, we have to lament on the state of cardiovascular health in this country. As all of you know, we have made tremendous strides since 1992 in the economic progress of this country. But as the economy made a transition from bad to good, the reverse occurred from good to bad for the health of this country. What is known in the medical field is an epidemiological transition that has happened in the last 30 years. Until 30 years ago, so-called communicable diseases, infectious diseases, malaria, tuberculosis, diarrhea, typhoid, were very prominent in our country, and they were responsible for a lot of illness and a lot of death. But when the economic transition took place, there is also what is called transition of diseases. Now, so-called non-communicable diseases such as heart disease, diabetes, high cholesterol, they have become much more prominent at the present time. So, ladies and gentlemen, in our own lifetime, we have seen a paradigm shift in India from communicable diseases now to non-communicable diseases. And let us take heart disease as an example of non-communicable diseases. There is a handout that we are going to give on behalf of Mediciti, in which I have termed heart disease is a modern scourge on India. In the last 20 years, there has been a 9-fold increase in the incidence of heart disease in our motherland. which has experienced 9-fold increase in heart disease in 20 years. In the last 30 years, ladies and gentlemen, we have seen doubling of deaths from heart disease. So this has been a very, very important indicator that we have not only emerged as an economy to reckon with, but we have emerged as a leader for cardiovascular disease and cardiovascular death. And this is very, very important how this progress has happened and how it is impacting the health of this nation. Now, the heart disease affects all ages, both genders, men and women. We used to feel that women are protected from the heart disease, but unfortunately that does not appear to be the case. At the present time, in the age groups 40 and above, the frequency of heart disease is the same both in men and women. So heart disease has become so-called equal opportunity killer. It does not discriminate between the genders. What has happened in India, which is quite different from other parts of the world, is that we are seeing heart disease in young individuals. Disease. There was a study that was conducted in Andhra Pradesh last year called SITE, S-I-T-E, study in India of twin epidemics. By twin epidemics, they meant high blood pressure and diabetes, and the conclusions from this study done in Andhra Pradesh is that 25% of our adults have both diabetes and high blood pressure. When somebody has both diabetes and high blood pressure, that a person is at a great risk for heart disease. Diabetes and high blood pressure are considered as unholy partners that rob the individual of the health. 25% is very, very large percentage of adults to have high blood pressure and diabetes. 50% of people who had high blood pressure were unaware that they have high blood pressure. Those who were aware that they had high blood pressure, only 10% of them had blood pressure under control. And this is very, very grim statistic, and we need to correct this very quickly. It has been said that India is the diabetes capital of the world, but this is not a tribute, this is not a prize, this is not a reward that we want. But diabetes has also become very common. A lot of people have high cholesterol also. Annually, when you look at heart disease and loss of productivity in this country, 25 million productive years of life are lost every year due to heart disease. Our Honorable Health Minister has estimated, Union Health Minister, has estimated that annually we lose $25 billion in economy as a result of heart disease, not only due to the cost to work absenteeism and loss of productivity by our citizens. And one more thing that I want to mention, and then I will conclude, then I will invite the panel. World Health Organization has done a study in the last 5 years, about the trends in blood pressure all over the world, and there were two important findings from this World Health Organization study. The blood pressure levels in the world in general are falling, with one exception, India. The blood pressure levels in India are going up. Rest of the world, the blood pressure levels are going down. And this is not a story that we should continue to hear. This is not a story that we should continue to tell. There is an immediate need for public-private partnerships, so-called triple P, to induce policies that would allow for early detection, aggressive treatment of risk factors for heart disease. A combination of private agencies and public institutions together should launch massive campaigns of early detection of risk factors and how to manage them. There is one more point that I want to make is about childhood obesity in our country, which has never been seen before. There are a number of studies that have been done in the last 8 years in Kolkata, in Ahmedabad, in Calicut, South India. All of them have shown that there is increasing childhood obesity. And please have invited Vijay, and if something is posed towards me, I might deflect it to them, but I will comment, and then I'll ask Dr. Prasad Reddy to comment. I took special care to say the transition in economy was associated with transition in cardiovascular disease. Whether this is a direct link, it is not known, but it occurred at the same time. So if you look at the economic progress, if you look at the GDP, that appears to parallel with increase in cardiovascular disease.
If you see the incidence of heart diseases in rural population and the urban population, it is estimated that about 4 to 6% of the rural population are affected with the heart diseases now. And if you take the urban population, it is around 10 to 12. So it is almost double the population in the urban region which are affected with heart diseases when compared to rural population. So because still the rural population, the risk factors are somewhat lesser when compared to those in the urban population. So in India, the urban population, the incidence of heart disease is 2 times higher than in the rural population. So that is that indicates that the affluence also influence the incidence of heart diseases in India. It's a corroboration. That's not only the affluence, but other factors also, like these Indians are more prone for the heart disease because some genetic factors also involved in the Indian population. So that could be the reason for a higher incidence of heart disease in the Indian population.
Thank you, Dr. Sutish Reddy garu. I am inviting you.